Hello and welcome to Maui. We just flew on a 7-hour flight, red eye, with our two little kids, and we are here in Maui in the middle of the night, and I will tell you all about our flight tomorrow. Good night for now. We'll see you in the morning. Good morning. We made it to our condo after our late night last night. It took quite a while for Travis to get the rental car to us. I think we were pretty much the last ones to leave the airport, but we made it to our place. My mom had brought over some groceries and some crackers and cheese so we could have a little snack when we got here and get the girls to bed. So I think it was about 1:30 when we went to bed, and we were all wide awake by 4:30 this morning. So it was a very short sleep, but 4:30 this morning was 8:30 at home, so the girls were up and at 'em and ready to go, so we just went with it. So let's get into a little bit about preparing for a red-eye flight with a 3-year-old and an almost 1-year-old. So our plan for the day, we had a late afternoon flight out of Saskatoon, our home airport, and we just had an hour flight over to Calgary. And ideally, Ellie would have slept for that hour because it was right in kind of her nap time window, but she just wasn't interested in sleeping, so it was fine. She played with her toys. She had a great flight, just didn't sleep. And so I did try to get her sleeping while we were at the Calgary airport, but I didn't have a lot of time there. And at that point, I was just kind of like, oh, maybe I won't worry about it too much and she'll just sleep on our flight. So we had to kind of quickly board our flight. We didn't have much time, like I said, and we got onto the plane, and then we sat there for a very long time while I guess the crew was doing paperwork. So it wasn't ideal, and she was very tired, and I was just trying to push off nursing her until we were in the air. So the flight from Calgary to Maui was a 7-hour flight, and we were probably on the plane, I don't know, it's hard to tell, it felt like an hour. I don't know, it could have been 30 or 40 minutes, or maybe it was an hour before we even took off. So she was getting really tired already, and then they kept the seatbelt light on for so long after we were up in the air, and I just kept thinking I'll just wait and I'll get her to the bathroom and I'll change into her pajamas and I'll get everything, I'll change Teddy into pajamas and we'll just get everyone just ready for a cozy little bedtime. And that just didn't happen. She just couldn't wait, and I ended up getting up while the seatbelt sign was on and just rocking her, and she was just a little overtired at that point, but she did eventually fall asleep. I had this cool, in theory, harness thing, like a hammock in the seat. I'll show you a picture of it, and I thought it just would be so nice to not have to hold her for the flight. However, either she's too tall for it, or there's not enough room between the two seats, even though we did have the extra legroom seats, which was really nice with the kids. Anyways, she did sleep in it for a little bit. When after I first rocked her to sleep, I laid her in it, but she was so scrunched up. I tried to take some pictures and videos, but it was so dark and I was not turning on any lights. Anyways, I ended up holding her for about probably 5 hours while she slept, and I was just so sore and so uncomfortable, and I couldn't sleep, and it just was pretty brutal. And I tried at one point to give her to Travis, and she woke up crying, and because he was trying to cuddle her, and she only wanted to lay this one certain way. If I could have had her lay a few other positions, it would have been more comfortable, but she really only wanted to lay sprawled out on her back on top of me. So it was just a long, hard flight. Teddy, on the other hand, got on the flight, she watched a movie, and then when her movie was over, I had this blow-up cushion, and it just makes from the floor to her seat so that it extends her seat so it has a footrest. She isn't really tall enough to have really needed it. It really did just put her feet had a footrest, which wasn't really necessary, and most of the time she kind of slept curled up anyways, so that was kind of another unnecessary thing that I carried onto the plane. But I just thought I just wanted to try and have everyone as comfortable as possible, and she did end up having a good sleep. So like a 3-year-old, great for flying in our experience. It was trickier with almost 1-year-old lap infant, but she's not a 3-month-old that we've flown with before. That was a lot easier. So yeah, it was a bit trickier with Ellie. I don't know, the red eye thing. Lots of people say it's worth it to buy the extra seat so that they can have their car seat to sleep in. I don't think we would have spent the extra money because flights here are already expensive. I think it just is what it is. I did keep telling myself that I'm never doing this again, knowing full well that we have to do the exact same thing in 2 weeks on the way home. We leave here at like 11 p.m. or maybe a little bit after 11 p.m. and have to do it all the way home again. So I will in fact do another red eye just in 2 weeks, but it certainly isn't ideal when you have to hold your lap infant for the whole flight. About an hour before the plane was landing, Ellie was kind of like wrestling around a little bit, and I think I did nurse her again, and she didn't fall right back to sleep, and she was kind of fussing a little bit, and I just thought like she'd at that point already been sleeping for over 5 hours. And I knew that when we landed and were in the airport, like she was gonna be wide awake anyway, so I just thought like I was so sore and uncomfortable, and Teddy was kind of wrestling around a little bit too, so I just took that opportunity to get up. I took Ellie to the bathroom, changed her diaper, and then actually Travis ended up bringing Teddy. She needed to go to the bathroom, and then we were pretty wide awake at that point. The girls were both actually really happy, just kind of hanging out. So that last hour of the flight was, well, probably the best of the whole flight. And then like landing and waiting to get to our gate and waiting for our luggage, everyone did so well. That was something I was always afraid of, was, well, they've only had this many hours of sleep, they won't be able to cope. And it has always been the case for me that even in super early morning wakes or after short little bits of sleep, they have done well to a certain point. Like by the time we got back here, Ellie was really ready to go back to sleep. I think she'd been awake for almost 3 hours by the time she did get to go to bed. So it is a big push for them, but in my experience with my girls, they have been able to do it, which is something that as a first-time mom, I was just always so worried about them being overtired, and I just thought there's no way they'd be able to, you know, get up at 3 a.m. for that flight or whatever it is. But if you're a first-time mom and you're worried about it, your child might be able to do it, and it might be okay. So I just want to give you that little bit of hope. In terms of what to prepare for our flight, I didn't do much because I knew we would just have that short one from Calgary, which I was hoping that Ellie would have slept, but we just had her toy bag. And again, she spent time playing with her toy bag for like that first hour and a bit of the second long flight. And then I did have those 2 different things that I thought would help the girls sleep. I don't know if they were really necessary, but I tried them. Other than that, like, I don't prepare much. I didn't do a whole lot. I just kind of thought of a few of the toys that Ellie had really been enjoying over the last few weeks at home, and probably a week before our trip I tucked them away so that I could bring them out and they would be like new and novel to her again. So that's kind of what I recommend, is just having something kind of new or exciting for them to explore and play with, and just knowing that they are also going to enjoy playing and exploring with whatever is around them, like the menu in the seat back, the tray, the seat belt, things like that around the plane can actually keep a little baby pretty occupied for a while. And then the other thing that I really love and would recommend is having a little pouch with you to take to the bathroom. So I love this pouch that we have because it has 2 sides. So one side I have the diaper, the wipes, and the change pad cover, and then on the other side I have several changes of clothes, and it just is all compacted right there, so that when you do go to the washroom, you just grab that out of your bag and you have everything you need. So that's kind of one thing I would recommend, along with probably like an extra diaper or 2 more than you think, and maybe an extra change of clothes too, and maybe even an extra shirt or something for mom or whoever's going to be mostly holding on to the baby. So I just wanted to come on here and share our experience of doing a 7-hour red-eye flight with our toddler and our baby. I think there is a lot of anxiety from parents around flying with their babies and little kids, and rightfully so, but really we have never had a negative experience in all of our flights with babies and toddlers. Either it's just been like everyone just kind of ignored us, or didn't really, like, nobody made a big deal of it. And if anything, we've had people just be so kind and generous and loving towards us and our babies. So I want to put this video out there just to assure parents that are planning on flying with their babies that it is okay. You and your baby deserve to be on that plane as much as anyone else. And if your baby's crying, that's what happens. Babies cry, and kids make noise, and people sneeze, and people cough, and people open their loud candy bags, and it's people on a tiny little plane just living their lives for the however many hours you're on it. And we all just need to accept that and make things easy for each other, especially for parents of babies. So don't be afraid to take that flight. I know that our experience wasn't the best, even though, I mean, our kids did sleep, so it actually was fine. It wasn't that great for me personally, but next time we do our red-eye flight, I will just make sure that, like, the moment we get on the plane, I have everything near me and I'm ready in case it is like instantly sleep time, and then I will just be prepared for that. In the end, it was a 7-hour flight, which just seems like so much, yet I just kind of kept checking on the app and it was like 5 hours left, 4 hours left, 3 hours left, and then all of a sudden it was like 2 hours left, and I kind of knew that that last hour would probably be like a bit of a buffer, and then we were here and it was fine, and the girls did so good. So go out there and travel with your kids. So if you are new to our channel and this is the first video you are seeing from us, I just want to say thanks for coming along, and please consider subscribing. We will be doing many more travel videos with our young kids, and we'd love to take you along with us. If you want to see some more on Instagram, we are Roots and Wings Travel over there, so we'd love to have you come and join us. If you have any questions or comments, please do comment down below on this video. And other than that, we just want to say thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.